we've all experienced negative coworkers, negative family members, negative friends, negativity. Oh my gosh, it's everywhere, right? It's not just on the news and social media and all that stuff. It's in your vicinity as well in real life. And let's get into it. How can you handle it? How can you solve this problem so that you can enjoy life, right? Right now, you're in the 80-hour predicament, right? Where you're trying to transfer yourself into a better lifestyle, a better future, a better life, a better everything. But that's not your reality right now. And so how do we handle it? Well, number one is if you are at work, I recommend that you stay busy with clients and busy with tasks that your bosses or your boss has asked you to do. Because if you actually are fulfilling what you're paid to do at your work, you won't have a lot of time to entertain those that are basically seeping and pushing all their negativity on you. During the lunch breaks, man, I was quite lonely. Like, I always had a book with me because that causes people to kind of stay away. Like, it kind of almost causes people to not, approach you much if you're reading a book, right? So start doing that. Start reading in your lunch breaks. And when you're actually working, work, work with clients and solve problems and tasks that your bosses have asked you to do. Sometimes you have difficult bosses as well. Well, guess what? He'll get off your back if you are the best performer. Especially if you tell him to kind of let you do your thing so he can have the benefits of you having done your thing instead of him being on your case and being negative all the time, right? So you've got to kind of set the stage for not tolerating negativity by, and this is number two, ignore bad behavior. Make sure that you don't give it any of your attention, any of your emotion, or any of your input, right? If someone is mean to you or someone spreads a rumor about you or someone ruins your reputation, who gives a crap, right? You do your thing. You do you, right? You don't have to give in to escalating things or causing drama or whatever, or quitting your job as a result of something that your colleagues, coworkers, or your boss has done. Just ignore it and keep creating value wherever you are. Now, if it becomes extreme negativity, like really, really, really toxic, and this is going to be almost every workplace, okay? Now, it's sad, but it is the reality of things. And if there's no negativity at the workplace, then profits are doing really well, right? This is how the world is, and we're living in that world, and so you have to be a shining example of positivity and getting stuff done, right? So that's one and two. Is first, be busy and ignore it, and that's number two as well. All right, so number three is having the mindset and realization that this is temporary. This is not going to last forever. You're not going to be in this specific job year in, year out, year in, year out for the next 5 years, right? Or even 4, or even 3. I recommend that you have a plan, an exit strategy to get out of there within the next 12 to 18 months. If you have coaching, that can be done. If you don't have coaching, you might get stuck there for 5 to 10 years, or quit, start a new job, quit, start a new job, quit, start a new job, right? Or quit, start a new project, quit, start a new project, right? You give up all the time. If you have accountability coaching, he'll make sure, I'll make sure, that you stick with something until it finishes, until you've learned something, until you've progressed, until you're ready for the next step. Very often people quit too soon. They get fired from jobs, right? Or they quit from jobs. Or their coworkers were toxic, so something happened. Or the project didn't work out, blah, 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 blah. Stop quitting. Most people quit. Don't be a quitter. Don't give up. Replace it with something better. That's how you move up. It's not taking a step back. Like, obviously, sometimes you have to take a step back to take 2 steps forward, right? But don't do that when it comes to jobs by quitting and then being unemployed for a while and then trying to get a new job. It's so much easier. And I told that to someone just now in my DMs. I told him that it's so much easier to get a new job when you already have a job. Like, keep looking for better environments. Keep looking for better jobs because you might get paid more. It might be a better environment. You might enjoy yourself more. So life becomes better on your journey to financial freedom. And it's the same thing in dating. I do not recommend romantically involving women in your life right now, but it is the same in dating, that women are more likely to want you if you are together with someone else because they can't have you, right? Same thing with employers. They're interested in those that they can't get. And so be that person. Keep your job and keep that project until it is done, until it is completed, or until you've replaced it with something that's way better, right? When it comes to business ideas, get a coach, okay? Like, there's so many issues and problems that you come up with or that happens in your life, and people are trying to solve these equations on their own. Stop solving equations on your own when you have the ability, the availability of working with people that have gone before you and have those experiences. And life is exactly the same for everyone. Did you know that all of us have to learn the exact same lessons? All of us. Like, we're on this planet to learn and to grow and to become men, right? To become masculine men who are leaders for our families, for our wives, for our children, and for society at large, right? Those leadership lessons that we learn along the way, they're all the same, right? The character traits that we need to develop, like patience and a good attitude and work ethic and blah, 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 all those things that we need in order for us to grow and become who we were designed to be, we all have to learn the same lessons. So if you can learn them faster by learning them from someone that has already completed those lessons and then apply them to your life faster, like, I mean, what is that worth? It's worth so much. Anyway, keep going. And the last thing that I want to say after realizing this is temporary is work towards making it as temporary as possible. You can shorten the time frame where you're still remaining in that toxic environment. It doesn't have to be a long time. And the way that you work towards making sure that this is temporary is by doing the 80-hour work week, meaning the 40 hours, or what would they say, the other 8 hours in your daily schedule, right? You have 8 hours at your normal 40-hour job, and then you've got sleep, and then you've got the other 8 hours. Now, I recommend that those other 8 hours, 4 of them, right, or 3.5 of those, are another job or a business if you got the discipline to do that. And then that you've got 4.5 hours of actually, self-care to make sure that you're prepared for those next day, 11.5 hours to 12 hours. If you do that, then you're actually making the toxic environment that you're currently in temporary. This is how you stay excited all of the time, despite everyone else being negative and having a horrible time. You can have a smile on your face. You can be fired up. This is how it works. Someone who is fired up understands the future, the present, and the past. They recognize that this was my past. I'm working towards solving my future. And as a result, I'm excited in the present. Realize that the things that are in your life right now, the toxic environments, it's part of who you were. It's part of your past. It's not part of who you are anymore, even though you're still in that environment. Why? Because the attitude has changed. Your attitude has changed. What I've realized on this success journey is when the times when I grew the fastest, nothing had changed around me. There was still negative people around me. There's still negative news. There's still issues and problems and people saying no and rejections and this and that and the other and bad things happening. But what changes is that I change. That's what causes everything around me to change. My attitude changed. And that's suddenly when things begin to happen in your life and in everyone's life. Is when your attitude changes, nothing else has changed, but then things begin to change because you changed. You became the leader in that situation. And to be honest, that is the true answer to this entire negativity environment equation, is the fact that you managed to jump out of it through diluting the poison with positivity from an environment that you've created in your other 8 hours or in your free time. I call it On Track. I call it Men of High Value. It's a community. You can be a part of it. There's a free trial. You can DM me on Instagram or Telegram at Men of High Value and understand how it works. A free trial to see, will these people dilute the poison, toxic environment that I'm currently in? Because the vast majority of the time, you won't be able to separate yourself enough from it. You'll be sucked in to that vacuum of negativity and remain negative yourself. And that kind of guarantees that you stay in that rut for years. You need a different environment, but it doesn't mean that you need to quit the places where you're working or quit the projects that you're working on. It just means that your mentality needs to change, and the only way to change that is to make sure that you have a other environment at the same time that you can latch onto and hold on to, that makes you excited about the future, and that the fact that you're going to achieve your dreams, because you will, if you actually latch on to positivity outside of your work environment. This is what I want to share with you guys. Hope you got a lot out of it, and subscribe and like. See you in the next one.